dust on the dashboard, a road map half-tone, coffee rings on vinyl where sunrise was born. Glove boxes, postcards I never did send, from Amarillo mornings to the Ozark bends. I left my last dollar in a jar by the sink, left town in a hurry, didn't stop long to think. The screen door was breathing like it wanted to talk, but I answered with silence and a long shadow walk. There's a picture of you in the visor that squeaks. Your smile's like a jukebox that never gets weak, but the needle kept skipping on the words we should say. So I turned up the highway and I let it all play. Old boots on the pedals, the engine's a choir, singing gravel road gospels through a coil of wire. CB ghosts and the static call out mile 59, and I follow their voices like a breadcrumb sign. Dust on the dashboard, heart on the floor, I'm counting these white lines like beads of a war. If love is a station, I'm stuck on the air, calling your name, but there's nobody there. Dust on the dashboard, a wind that won't quit. I keep chasing the song that we almost could fit. If home is a promise, then why does it hide? Maybe home is a hum of this old truck ride. I pulled into Paris, Texas, not France, where the neon saints give a sinner a chance. The barkeep says, stranger, you look like a song. I said, play me a memory, it won't take long. There's a woman in red with a thundercloud laugh. She asked where I'm headed, I said second half of a life that keeps starting at 3:45, where the dawn keeps on knocking at a locked bedroom door. We danced to a fiddle that cried without shame. Steel guitar swore it would shoulder the blame, but the jukebox ran empty and so did my feet. When the night folded up like a ragged old sheet, I bought her a coffee to pay for the tune. She drew me a map of a soft silver moon. Follow this river where it spills into day, and you might find the words that you couldn't quite say. Dust on the dashboard, heart on the floor, I'm counting these white lines like beads of a war. If love is a station, I'm stuck on the air, calling your name, but there's nobody there. Dust on the dashboard, a wind that won't quit. I keep chasing the song that we almost could fit. If home is a promise, then why does it hide? Maybe home is a hum of this old truck ride. I trade every mile for a porch swing night, crickets for cadence, your hand for a light. But some lessons are learned with your name in the dust. Some engines run best on forgiveness and trust. I keep a spare prayer in the well of the tire, a match and a note and a piece of barbed wire to bind up the letters the wind set adrift, to spark up a beacon to carry the gift. Dust on the dashboard, but clear in my chest. Your name is a compass that points to the west. If love is a station, then tune me on home. I'm done being brave for the sake of alone. Dust on the dashboard, the sun's coming true. I'll follow this road till it runs into you. If home is a promise I lost in the ride, I'll sweep off the dashboard and let you inside. There's a neon Bible over table 7, spelling out salvation in electric heaven. A bartender bishop with a rag for a stole blesses every quarter in the jukebox sold. You walked in Sunday wearing Friday's smile, said, preacher, pour a sermon for the next long mile. I said, I ain't ordained, but I know a few lines where the steel strings shed light and the truth untwines. The choir's just as sinners who know every key, harmony stitched from the rips in a knee. And I'm not a prophet, just a poor backslider who stares down the mirror like a two-lane rider. We lit our confessions like matchbooks in June. Let the smoke trace halos around a half moon. If a prayer is a whisper you sing through the pain, then a barstool's a pew in a whiskey-stained frame. Neon Bible and a barstool, baby. Testify softly, say you might save me. Turn the pages with a steel guitar. Read the red letters from a honky-tonk star. Neon Bible and a barstool, darling. Every amen is the door unbarring. If there's a heaven for the lost and cruel, we'll find it tonight by the Neon Bible's rule. You said you were married to an old goodbye, signed the papers with the ink of a cry. I said I was faithful to a missing ring, a promise that rusted like a wintering spring. The clock on the wall kept preaching, be still, but the drummer in the backbeat, the mercy drill. Your fingers tap secrets on my forearm vein, a code for deliverance spelled out in rain. The fiddle took flight like a bird off a wire, and the floorboard shook like a brush fire choir. A trucker dropped coins like a tide in a plate. The bartender winked, said communion can't wait. We broke bread as biscuits, sopped sorrow with gravy, laughed till the ghosts of our past cry saved me. Then quiet descended, a sacred old hush, where your breath on my neck was a chapel's blush. Neon Bible and a barstool, baby. Testify softly, say you might save me. Turn the pages with a steel guitar. Read the red letters from a honky-tonk star. Neon Bible and a barstool, darling. Every amen is is a door unbarring. If there's a heaven for the lost and cruel, we'll find it tonight by the neon Bible's rule. I ain't asking angels to vouch for my name. I've bartered too often with luck and with flame. But if grace has a jukebox, it plays what we need and spins second chances and let it bleed. Your hand found mine like a hymn finds a note, like a storm finds a harbor, a letter, a code. We stood up together, two sinners made true, and promised to walk out when morning breaks through. Neon Bible and a Barstool, baby, testify softly. Yeah, you just saved me. Close the pages with a steel guitar. Seal the red letters on a high noon star. Neon Bible and a Barstool, darling. Morning light spills like a new day started in Falcon's crane. There's a fiddle moon over Tulsa tonight, hung like a horseshoe catching the light. The river's a ribbon that waltzes the town, and the oil pump's bow keeps sawing it down. We parked by the river where blue bonnets lean. Your hair caught the neon from Kane's ballroom sheen. You said, play me a memory that doesn't hurt. I tuned up the strings on a borrowed old flirt. The city lights shimmered like sequins on boots, while thunderheads hum low baritone roots. You traced in the dust on the hood of my Ford, a heart with a crack and a question mark sword. I told you that music can solder a scene, melded with resin and rosin and dream. If love is a two-step with steps out of place, we'll count 1, 2, forgiveness and dance into grace. Fiddle moon over Tulsa, bow across the sky, play us a tune that'll teach us to try. Let that steel guitar answer and the drum keep time while we spin on the banks of the old state line. Fiddle moon over Tulsa, don't fade too soon. We've got a lifetime to fit in one tune. If dawn has to come, let it find us in bloom under that soft silver fiddle moon. We pass the old rooftops where pigeons hold court, the scent of mesquite rolled shotgun and snort. A busker in Greenwood kept time with his heel, selling advice for a beer and a meal. He said, kid, I've seen lovers fold like a hat when they won't play the bridge where the song keeps at. I looked at you grinning, we'll play every bar, and kissed you beneath that clarinet star. We spun into midnight where carports grow vines, where secrets are hung out like laundry on lines. up the alleys like bright bottle sparks. If sorrow returns like a chorus that bites, we'll write a new verse in the splinter of nights. Let thunder applaud us and lightning take cues. The sky's a stage and we're paying our dues. Fiddle moon over Tulsa, bow across the sky. Play us a tune that'll teach us to try. Let that steel guitar answer and the drum keep time while we spin on the banks of the old state line. Fiddle moon over Tulsa, don't fade too soon. We've got a lifetime to fit in one tune. If dawn has to come, let it find us in bloom under that soft silver fiddle moon. Every song has a quiet where breath takes the lead, where you wait on the downbeat that love's gonna plead. Hold me in that pocket where rhythm turns kind, where broken-in boots learn to leave hurt behind. We'll bow till the strings glow a candle warm gold. We'll vow what the river already foretold. No encore needed, just one word, stay, and a crowd made of stars shouting play. Fiddle moon over Tulsa, you kept us in tune. We learned how to live in a four-measure room. Steel guitar answers, drums cradle the time. Two hearts on the banks of the Arkansas line. Fiddle moon over Tulsa, fade slow, not soon. We'll hold to the light of your bright horseshoe. If morning must come, let it follow our tune. We'll still be dancing under your fiddle moon.
They warn me about the Copperheads down by the creek, so watch where you step and be careful you speak. But nobody told me love calls just the same. Cold-blooded, bright-eyed with a strike for a name. You wore your daddy's denim, your mama's old ring, a smile like a switchblade dressed up for spring. I followed your footprints through cane and through pine, till trouble said howdy at the county line. Sheriff got a postcard from a dark motel, said find us a preacher, we ain't doing well. But you left that note just to buy us a day, to outrun a past we couldn't outpray. Your ex was a shadow with money for gas, a pack of loud friends and a temper like glass. We hid in a church with a lock that was bent, and counted the hymn rolls for legal consent. Copperhead county line, hiss of the wind, we're shedding old skin just to fit a new skin. If danger's a dance, then give me the lead. I'll step where you step, through the poison and reed. Copperhead county line, lightning and dust, we'll outrun the bite if we move with our trust. When love is a venom, then let it be mine. I'll take every drop at the county line. Out the place at a feed store lot, traded your boots for a safer spot. I sold my guitar to a one-eyed man. He said, son, you need luck more than any plan. We slept in the truck off a logging road bend. You dreamed we were snakes learning how not to rent. I dreamed we were doves with a copperhead crown, teaching our enemies how to stand down. Morning came red with the sirens wail. I tasted your fear like a rusted nail. You said leave me here, you can make it on I said I'd rather die than cut loose what we put. Then thunder announced a hard summer rain. It washed out the tracks of our trespassing pain. We crossed where the river had swallowed the sign and left that old venom to die on the vine. Copperhead county line, hiss of the wind. We're shedding old skins just to fit a new skin. If danger's a dance, then give me the lead. I'll step where you step, through the poison and reed. Copperhead county line, lightning and dust. We'll outrun the bite if we move with our trust. When love is a venom, then let it be mine. I'll take every drop at the county line. Maybe we're wrong for the lawman's book, but right as the river that found us a nook. Maybe the Copperheads learn from our trail to spare what they fear, let grace tip the scale. I'll buy back that guitar when the heat goes cold. We'll sing out a ballad of brave and bold. And if they come hunting, let them hear this rhyme. Two hearts can't be cornered by a county line. Copperhead county line, hiss of the wind. We're keeping our vow in a borrowed skin. If danger's a dance, we danced it in time. Your hand in my hand is the only sign. Copperhead county line, thunder and trust. We shed what we were, rose up from the dust. If love is a venom, then baby it's fine. We lived through the bite at the county line.
You found it in a glass case between a watch that wouldn't win and a locket with a picture tied. Forgot to be kind. The tag read slightly tarnished, like a whisper from the past. I said we're a little tarnished too, but build a love to last. The owner wiped it gently with a cloth that knew regret. Said rings go out for reasons, but sometimes they come back yet. You slipped it on your finger and the neon lights turned sweet, like a jukebox found a record where two lonely stories meet. We didn't have out the money for a church with golden bells, just a pickup truck, two promises and wish you wells. We wrote our vows in pencil on a diner napkin square. You said if life gets heavy, I will help you lift the air. I said if storms get angry and the road forgets our name, I'll be the steady chorus, you can be the flame. The waitress poured us coffee as a blessing to begin. A pawnshop wedding band and two stubborn hearts to win. Pawnshop wedding band, secondhand shine, found a brand new meaning in a dusty window sign. Every scratch a story, every dent a prayer. We'll wear the old beginnings like a ribbon in our hair. Pawnshop wedding band, bargain for the brave. Love don't need a showroom when it knows how to save. drove out to the county where the cotton meets the sky, past a billboard for forgiveness and a field of reasons why. Your sister brought wildflowers that the ditch had dressed in blue, and the preacher's book was thinner than the truth we already knew. He asked us if we promised not to treat this like a loan. I said we don't owe each other. What we have is what we own. We kissed beneath a thundercloud that rumbled soft and low, like the Lord was playing baritone and tapping to and fro. Later in the kitchen, with the radio turned down, you spun beneath my arm as if the tile was sacred ground. I washed the dinner plates and you hummed a dusty hymn. The ring flashed like a lighthouse on the shore of something dim. When bills came due and job calls failed and old doubts tried to bite, we held that pawnshop circle like a lantern in the night. You said we're not the first to make a family out of less. I said we'll teach our children how to polish loneliness. Pawnshop wedding band, secondhand shine, found a brand new meaning in a dusty window sign. Every scratch a story, every dent a prayer. We'll wear the old beginnings like a ribbon in our hair. Pawnshop wedding band, bargain for the brave. Love don't need a showroom when it knows how to save. Put it on, hold my hand, start where others ran. We're richer than a kingdom with a pawnshop wedding band. Someday we'll go back there with our Sunday clothes and smile, show the man behind the counter how we survived the miles. We'll point out every scuff mark like a map of where we've been, and trade him tales of mercy for the ones that might begin. He'll say, I see your treasure, turn the world from cold to warm. We'll say we build a palace from a shelter from a storm. And if another pair walks in with chins held by a thread, we'll leave a note. Take courage, love can raise the dead. Pawnshop wedding band, secondhand shine. We gave you a lifetime in the nick of borrowed time. Every scratch now silver, every dent a star. We found a way to make the broken beautiful and ours. Pawnshop wedding band, prove the simple plan. Two hearts can beat an empire with an ordinary ring in hand. Put it on, hear the angels, hear the marching band. The world can't price the promise of a pawnshop wedding band.
Brewed up an apology in a mason jar of light. Said it's bittersweet tea, baby, sip it slow tonight. I tasted every secret you were scared to say out loud, like lemon on a bruise that makes a sinner proud. The screen door sang its alto, kudzu framed the porch. Cicadas kept the rhythm like a little twill at church. We'd fought about the rent and how we're it'll sweeten what's within. We clink those jars together like a truce between the storms. The ice sang little praises while the day remade its forms. I traced your knuckles lightly like I'd read a song by hand, and felt the old forgiveness growing tall across the land. Bittersweet tea at dawn, wash the night and carry on. Let the first light touch our eyes, turn the salt of tears to skies. Bittersweet tea at dawn, pour the truth we're leaning on. If we've both been right and wrong, let the porch make right our song. We talked about the money and the job you couldn't stand, the boss who used your kindness like a shovel in his hand. I said I'd take on extra till you found a better day. You said you'd cook the kindness back into our tired clay. We counted up our blessings like a choir counts the beat. A second-hand sofa, hand-me-down plates, the scrapes on baby's feet. Your smile was maple sunlight, I could drink it by the mile. And just like sweet tea settles, so your grace could settle vile. The neighbors started mowing and a rooster bragged on high. A train called out its loneliness and stitched the edge of sky. You touched the old screen window where the world looked fresh and clean. Said let's promise not to break what we can bend between. We took our dented cooler and the blanket with the holes, drove to where the river keeps the secrets of our souls. We watched the minnows practice shining into fish, and fed the water pennies like we had another wish. Bittersweet tea at dawn, wash the night and carry on. Let the first light touch our eyes, turn the salt of tears to skies. Bittersweet tea at dawn, pour the truth we're leaning on. If we've both been right and wrong, let the porch make right our song. If we lose our way at supper, if our tempers turn to flame, we'll wake the next day early, let the morning change the frame. Put 2 jars on the railing and our pride back in the shade. Let the steam of something kinder rise from everything we've made. I'll hold your hand at sunrise till the old ache loosens free. I'll learn to sweeten suffering with patience poured in me. We'll mark the calendar with a modest little drawn. 2 hearts, 2 jars forever. Bittersweet tea at dawn. Bittersweet tea at dawn. We learn the way to carry on. Let the new light sing our name. Let the sugar answer blame. Bittersweet tea at dawn. Mercy's what we're sipping on. If love is work till night is gone, we'll clock in at the break of dawn.
Bought a one-way paper ticket from a window full of ghosts. The agent stamped my heart with fire every town that boasts. I climbed into a sleeper where the wallpaper could sigh, and set my suitcase next to all the names I didn't try. A brakeman tipped his hat like a pardon from the past. Said, son, this train goes nowhere, but it gets there good and fast. I laughed like someone else and pulled the curtain like a wound, and watched the platform shrink into a lonesome little moon. Out past the water tower, past the billboard for a cure, past diners that serve coffee to the hopeful and unsure. The whistle made confession in a minor trembling key, as if the tracks themselves were asking, what could mercy be? I wrote your name in steam and let the window drink it down, then traced another letter where the fall brick claimed the town. I swore I'd never beg you, but the gravel says I did. In every tie that holds his line of prayer, I tried to read. Night train to nowhere, take me all the way through the farms of sorrow to the fields of gray. If a mile can matter, let it matter here, where the dark keeps humming, lose your fear. Night train to nowhere, don't you stop for dawn. I'm not ready yet to see what's gone. Roll me into silence where the rails confess, and leave me with a rhythm that forgives my mess. In the dining car I met a preacher with a scar. He said he lost his calling when he found out where we are. There's grace, he set in motion, there's forgiveness in the sway. Confession's just a window where you watch it slip away. A waitress set down cobbler like a treaty for the soul. She said we don't charge extra if you choose to make it whole. I tip with every dollar I could not afford to miss, and swallowed down the cinnamon like a long delayed kiss. A drifter played a dobro in a booth with yellow light. He sang about a county line that doubled as a fight. We traded chords and memories till the landscape lost its name, and all the empty platforms looked forgiving, looked the same. He said, if nowhere is a place, it's where you learn to start, where no one takes attendance and the map can't chart your heart. I nodded like a pilgrim with a pocket full of rust, and felt the wheels beneath us turn regret into a trust. Night train to nowhere, take me all the way through the farms of sorrow to the fields of gray. If a mile can matter, let it matter here, where the dark keeps humming, lose your fear. Night train to nowhere, don't you stop for dawn. I'm not ready yet to see what's gone. Roll me into silence where the rails confess, and leave me with a rhythm that forgives my mess. At mile 309, the moon sat in a chair, counting every fence post like a rosary in air. I thought about the morning and the place I used to sleep, and how you held my shoulder when the promises ran deep. If nowhere is a mercy, then let me linger slow until the whistle softens and the brakeman says to go. I'll step down in a station with a nameless little light and call you from a payphone that belongs to Second Sight. Night train to nowhere, thank you for the ride. You circled around the edges till I found my other side. If a mile can matter, I can matter too. I'll walk back to us somewhere where the map reads me and you. Night train to nowhere, you can fade from view. The tracks that set me straight all point back to you. I'll carry this forgiveness like a ticket in my vest, arriving where I started, but a better kind of guest. Lay the bills between us like a debt we couldn't cut, and spread our tired calendars like doors we couldn't shut. I circled where the rent was due, you underlined the gas, and somewhere on that paper we both found our better glass. The kitchen light was humming like a neon thought of grace, and chipped enamel coffee cups marked out the fragile place. We didn't raise our voices, just the roof on honesty. In the courtroom of the morning, with the judge of you and me. You said you'd take the graveyard shift until the harvest paid. I said I'd learn the numbers like a carpenter the blade. Stared at two old chairs we'd salvaged from a store, sat down like saints in training, gave each other more. I took your hand and squeezed it like a bell that calls to prayer. You smiled with tired bravery that made the daylight fair. We told the truth that hurts, and then the truth that makes it heal, traded old assumptions for a kindness made of steel. Kitchen table reckoning, let the ledger show we're paying down our sorrows with the love we owe. Add the grace and carry one, multiply the work we've done. Kitchen table reckoning, morning on our side, we'll balance out the warning with a humble pride. Count the loaves and count the hands, build a life no debt demands. We wrote a list of need dues and a list of let it goes. The first one had insurance, the second fancy clothes. I promised to be patient when the tempers start to spark. You promise to be honest when you're walking through the dark. We tape the plan to fridge like a pledge we get to see, right next to baby's finger paint, our family's degree.
pronounced a blessing while the bacon signed amen. We laughed about the chaos like two kids who'll start again. Outside, a neighbor's mower cut a hymn into the lawn. A sparrow on the windowsill conducted just at dawn. You said we're not alone here. Look how ordinary shines. I said a miracle is money paid in faithful dimes. We kissed without an audience, a quiet kind of cheer that turned our kitchen table to a country chandelier. If wealth is what you worship, you might miss the golden part. Two hands that hold the ledger while they hold a beating heart. Kitchen table reckoning, let the ledger show. We're paying down our sorrows with the love we owe. Add the grace and carry one, multiply the work we've done. Kitchen table reckoning, morning on our side, we'll balance out the one. And with a humble pride, count the loaves and count the hands. Build a life no debt demands. When the month turns mean and the car decides to fail, we'll take a breath at midnight, let the mercy tip the scale. We'll brew a pot of courage, cut the extras to the bone, and leave a little margin for the music and the home. We'll mark the dates with pencil, not with chiseled shaming stone, and give ourselves a Sabbath where the hunger can atone. Because love is not a ledger, but it knows how to keep time. It pays in meals and lullabies, and pennies turn to shine. Kitchen table reckoning, let the morning right. We're richer in the labor and the low hard light. Add the grace and carry one, multiply the days we've won. Kitchen table reckoning, we will not be moved. The math of old devotion is the proof we prove. Count the loaves and count the hands. We built a life no debt commands.
The clerk slid me a key with a plastic fob and red, a book of Motel matches, and a nod that said go ahead. I opened up a room where the air had learned to wait, where everything was quiet like a lock without a gate. I set the matches down beside the Gideon on the stand, and thought about the promises that slipped out of my hand. The carpet patterned secrets like a maze of almost true, and every lamp was faithful to the shadows that it knew. You called me from a number I once saved is coming home. Said I'm on the edge of sorry on a road I walked alone. I told you my location like a prayer you dare to say. Room 17, the highway sings a lullaby this way. You asked, is there a future in a room like that tonight? I said there's just enough to try beneath this buzzing light. We listen to the static, fill the distance with a hiss, like every word
trying to remember what it is.
Motel matches and memories. Strike one up for what we used to be. Let the sulfur kiss the dark. Find a wick inside our hearts. Motel matches and memories. Burn the lies but spare the trees. We'll keep one flame steady, slow. Watch and make the shadows go. You knocked us off repentance, and I opened with a sigh. The hallway smelled like chlorine, and the pool had learned to cry. You stood there like a verse that hadn't met its rhyme, a suitcase full of sentences that pleaded for their time. We sat on quilted silence where the TV sold a dream about a world where nothing ever split along the seam. You said I cannot promise what I promised once before. I said just promise effort, leave the brags outside the door. We lit a single match and watched it throw a braver face on every dented surface in that sacred second place. I read from Gideon whispers, love is patient, love is kind. And you laugh through your crying, Lord, it's lagging far behind. So I named the foolish moments, you named all the quiet good, and we stacked them like a fire where forgiveness understood. We didn't make it pretty, we just made it kind and true, and let the tiny candle do the preaching we can't do. Motel matches and memories. Strike one up for what we used to be. Let the sulfur kiss the dark. Find the wick inside our hearts. Motel matches and memories. Burn the lies but spare the trees. We'll keep one flame steady, slow. Watch and make the shadows go. By morning ash was on us, where our pride had tried to rule, and sunlight through the curtain turned the bedspread into cool. We folded up our failures like a towel on the rack, and left the key with gratitude for getting something back. I pocketed one matchbook with your name in ballpoint blue, so when the night gets nervous I can light a truth or two. We kissed beside the ice machine that coughed a silver hymn, and promised not to go to war when love has room to swim. Motel matches and memories. We survived the in-between. Let the daylight testify. Smoke is clear and so are we. Motel matches and memories saved a spark for when we bleed.
If a room can be a church, let it bless us when we leave.
There's a church in mile 30 with a hymn board made of dents.
and a preacher with a pickup that has baptized a few fenders. But my favorite kind of sermon wears a taillight in the dusk, where the cornfields preaching whispers and the silos singing husk. I learned to say I'm sorry with a blinker on the right. And baby, I am trying with the high beam soft at night. The yellow lines repeat like a choir that won't let go, and the rumble strip corrects me when I'm leaning toward my woe. We ride in Sunday silence after Saturdays that burn. Let the wind erase the words we couldn't quite return. You roll the window halfway, let forgiveness catch a ride, and I keep both hands steady like a prayer that won't divide. A billboard sells salvation, I nod and drive on past, because the two-lane gospel's telling truth that's built to last. It says keep it in your lane, son, don't pass on blind regret. Turn the radio to mercy, turn your anger to forget. Two-lane gospel, sing me home from the gravel to the loam. TT's ties a righteous way, hold our little vows in sway. Two-lane gospel, straight and plain, write your scripture in the rain. If we drift, then buzz us true, guide this ride from me to you. We stop at Dixon's Dairy, where the shakes are cheap and bold, where the kids make constellations with their sprinkles red and gold. We split a paper basket full of fries that taste like hope, and argue over ketchup like the fate of holy folk. A farmer nods evening with a dignity we borrow, and the sunset lays a halo on the wrinkles of tomorrow. You wipe the salt from corners that my pride forgot to see, and kiss me like a chorus that was written in a key. We pass a country graveyard with a fence of cedar slats. The stones lean toward each other like they're swapping quiet facts. I squeeze your knee and whisper all the names we love and miss, and promise to be present in the only now that is. The map can't find our marriage, but the miles can testify that we kept the rubber honest while our hearts refused to lie. The two-lane gospel hums, and I hum right along. The theology of rhythm, the doctrine of a song. Two-lane gospel, sing me home from the gravel to the loam. Teach these ties a righteous way, hold our little vows in sway. Two-lane gospel, straight and plain, write your scripture in the rain. If we drift, then buzz us true, guide this right from me to you. Someday when we're slower and the lines blur soft and pale, we'll trade the rumble strip for grandkids in the tail. We'll bless the little snacks and all the pit stops of our years, and laugh about the breakdowns that once sounded like our fears. We'll roll the windows down and let the gospel sing again, where tires make up salter out of gravel, dust, and wind. And if the road grows narrow, we'll remember how to steer. That truth has always traveled right beside us, plain and clear. Two-lane gospel, take us home to the fields where we have grown. Write our names in tire tracks, trade our burdens into acts. Two-lane gospel, hold our hands, guide our ordinary plans. From the first mile to the last, keep us faithful, slow and fast.